City Clerk, is there anybody looking to speak?
Yes, Mayor, we have a few. Next, I'd like to call up Mr. Tom Quiche.
Hi, everybody. My name is Tom Quiche. Once again, I'm speaking in my own individual capacity and not as an official representative. First off, I just want to say thank you, all of you. I was at the shelter when the officials from the council or from the town came to the shelter, and it was a quite enjoyable conversation. A lot of creative ideas, a lot of interesting thoughts, and found out some hurdles we need to go over. I just want to thank you all for coming to the shelter. And I have to say that some of the things we talked about that day, I saw implemented the very, very next day. I've seen the marquee light up with the don't support backyard breeders. I've seen it on my Instagram. So again, thank you. And I want to thank command staff from Baldwin Park for being here today. I know they're going to be talking later. There was one moment that really stood out for me in front of Baldwin Park. And that is when one of the officials asked, how long do the dogs have at the shelter? And the dogs were barking and howling and the huskies were sounding off. No one really knew how to answer that, and I asked if I could answer it as an individual in my own individual capacity. And when I gave the answer, I felt that official take it in. And then I felt a change, that I felt like everyone became even more invested in helping those animals. So I want to thank you for all you've done. I'm excited for what you are going to do. I'm excited to hear how you all are going to work together. Since that meeting, the city of Walnut has released a plan to feature a pet, featuring pets, adoptable pets from the shelter. And if every single little city around the shelter, Baldwin Park or Southern California, just made these little changes, we can make ginormous changes. So I want to thank you. And if you ever want to reach out to me and chat off the record or on the record, or if I can assist in any way, please do so. I'm going to end really early today. Thank you.
Anybody else looking to speak? Not. City Clerk, is there anybody that made a request to
No, Mayor, at this point, we have not received any requests for comment.
Great. Thank you for that, City Clerk. So at this moment, we will go ahead and close public communication. And we will move on to the consent calendar.
Mayor, I actually had some comments
Yes.
in response to some folks that spoke. I think it was Mr. Keach, if I'm saying that correctly. I was hoping that we could still get that third-party nonprofit. Oh, I'm sorry. If there's a third-party nonprofit that, the city can partner with for a more sustainable plan, if you have any recommendations, I think we would be open to receiving those recommendations. And it's probably not the forum right now because, we have the Roberts rules. But let's see if you wouldn't mind coordinating with, is it, you think Manny or who, Manny?
Yeah.
He's been interacting with our CEO.
Okay. Okay, good. Okay, great. So I just wanted to. Okay. So, and then as far as the missionaries, I wanted to welcome you to our community and, thank you for being here. And I think that you'll find that Baldwin Park is a wonderful community with wonderful people. And there are opportunities to partner with our recreation and community services. I think that, we could always use some volunteers. You heard the animal shelter, that is in the city of Baldwin Park, but a county facility. And so that probably has some really good opportunities for you as well. And then I know that the animal care folks are here, and the item will be regarding a collaboration. So we'll get to that in a bit. But I did have a service request for you guys. If I could submit that, because I did attempt on Sunday evening to request dead animal pickup. And I held for 19 minutes and then I had to run off to a family gathering. But there is a dead cat on Azusa Canyon Road at San Bernardino, and it's on the northeast corner. It's gray and it's been there for about 3 days. So that would be my request. And I'm so glad you're here so that I can submit it now. All right. Those are my comments.
All right. There's no more comments. So now we will go to the reports of officers. So we have the City and LA County Baldwin Park Animal Care Center collaboration. Enrique, I'll give you the floor.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, and thank you, Councilmember Garcia, for welcoming our friends from the DACC, the Department, LA County Department of Animal Care and Control, as well as, Tom, who spoke as a speaker. Bob is here as well. They both volunteer at the Animal Care Center. Indeed, from the direction we got from City Council at the last council meeting, following the comments by Tom, and we quickly mobilized a on-site meeting with DACC and the volunteers to come up with ways that we can further strengthen their relationship and further make the Animal Care Center more accessible, more visible, and more convenient for all residents. Certainly the residents of the city of Baldwin Park, but all residents who use the center, which includes several cities. So from that discussion, as Tom indicated in his comments, many ideas emerged, including the potential engagement with a nonprofit. In our report, we did indicate some events that are already taking place in relation to a more holistic approach to pet care and pet responsibility. So this coming Sunday, we have the Vet at the Park event in collaboration with DACC and many volunteers as well. And that's a very popular event. Sunday morning, starting at 9 a.m., but some folks actually start lining up at 3 o'clock in the morning. So it depends on what time you want to participate, but invite all the council members to stop by and say hello to the folks there. So that event is happening this coming Sunday. In relation to also providing additional opportunities for pet care, and we have a spay and neuter event. By the way, the Vet at the Park event is completely free for all residents. And the spay and neuter event on Wednesday, the 25th of this month also is completely free. That one is by appointment and it's only for Baldwin Park residents. It's a much smaller event. These are surgical procedures that take a while, take time, and take prep work. So only about 35 participants can take advantage of it, but we intend to do several of them. With regards to the joint programs that we have undertaken, Public Works is going to install more signs. I think Sam calls them wayfinding signs, so that when residents drive to the shelter, and this is something that came up from that meeting, they have a more of an advanced notice of where the turn to the shelter is, and that oftentimes people can miss it. We all granted that it's easy to miss the turn because there's no visibility that stands out and what have you. So there'll be more of those signs. Also, DACC, Javier, actually the manager at the care center, has already spoken with one of the business owners about hosting a larger event, a larger sign. So hopefully that does come to fruition, Javier, and we can install a larger sign hosted by one of the businesses. Chief Lopez, the police department, is working with the fire department to ensure that the access to and from to the shelter is unimpeded. This is a private street that's very narrow. And, if too many cars park on either side, that could impede access, not just for customers, but certainly for even emergency vehicles. So the chief is already talking with the fire department, and I think that's under control. And one of the things that Tom mentioned that immediately took place that same day actually was a recreation and community services began disseminating and posting good messages from the Department of Animal Care and Control on everything related to good, responsible pet care, from spay and neutering, adopting, from stopping all illegal breeding, all the many aspects that are part of a good way of taking care of our pets. So those are just some of the examples of initiatives that already began to take place. It has further strengthened our relationship with the animal, not just the animal care center, but the entire department. And I want to acknowledge, I know the director, Marcia Mayira, was going to make this meeting, but instead, equally important, Frank, thank you for joining us. He's the deputy director for the Department of Animal and Care Control. So we're thrilled with this strengthening of the relationship, the involvement by the volunteers, and the continuation of the measures, including what you mentioned, Councilmember Avila, Councilmember Garcia, about engaging with a nonprofit. So that's my report. Frank, Javier, any of you would like to come up as well?
Good evening, Mayor and council members. Frank Corvino, Deputy Director with Los Angeles County Animal Care and Control. I just want to say DACC completely appreciates the partnership that the city is joining with us. As Tom said, and it's vitally important to get important information like promotions and backyard breeding tip line information up on a bulletin board that city residents can see and people coming into the city can see, as well as better directions into the facility, because as you know, it is very hard to see when you're turning there if you've never gone to the animal care center. So we appreciate the efforts by the city. We appreciate the partnership, and we look forward to continuing that.
Hello, Javier Gutierrez. I'm the Animal Care Center Manager for the Baldwin Park Care Center. Just echoing what Frank said, it was a good meeting, good collaboration, good discussion. When we met, some good ideas. Obviously, there's some things we got to look legalities and things like that, what we can do. But I think it's a right path in the right direction to try and get things out in the community. Support systems, our pet is our family, things like that, to help owners keep and retain their animals instead of having to surrender them and not, populate the care centers. So, I mean, it's a great meeting, great collaboration. Hopefully this will trickle on to the other surrounding cities that we support. Real quick, you said southeast corner of San Bernardino, Azusa Canyon?
Thank you. Northeast.
Northeast, okay.
I think it's near a towing company or towing business. Yeah, so it's northeast corner and it's on Azusa Canyon Road at San Bernardino Road.
So that was the report back, and the recommendation is that you receive and file the report.
Great. Thank you for that, Enrique. I would just add that, I don't know, when we approved the contract last time, I think I asked about trying to get more data about what the trends are regarding animal services or demands or requests, or what is changing the trends, so that we know where we have to act. Are people giving up their pets more? Are we finding more strays? Things like that, so that we know where we have to put our efforts in. So that's something that we can also work on as part of our partnership. Very, very important that we also focus on preventative measures, right? Not just mitigating. And that'll benefit all of us, and of course, all of our furry friends from being in situations that are not the best. So I'll make a motion to approve the recommended action to receive and file this report. Can I have a second?
Second.
City Clerk, roll call, please.
Councilmember Avila,
Yes.
Councilmember Garcia,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Ayala,
Yes.
Mayor Estrada.
Yes.
Motion carries 4-0.
All right. Thank you for that, City Clerk.